Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today we have got to give a bit of explanation on why there is never going to be another Splinter Cell game, because Tom Clancy has already revealed its new project that is called XDefiant, which is a solid universal multiplayer game. Ever since the release of Splinter Cell Blacklist in 2013, the series has been little more than a playful reference or cameo for other games to make use of, and it's a bit of heartbreaking. We have got enough intentions clear from Tom Clancy that there is going to be no Splinter Cell for a minimum of next 4 to 5 years, because that thought has not even popped up in their minds for a long time. While fans were speculating for a new Splinter Cell game since last year, there is a big no, at least for next 4 to 5 years, on any confirmation. So in this video we will be discussing about Splinter Cell versus XDefiant angle of the Tom Clancy games. What will be the future, what are the impact of XDefiant, and why Splinter Cell will never be made. So this is Fenris Wolf on behalf of Gamer Overlord, and I do request you to please watch this video till the end. Hit that like as well as the subscribe button, and make sure you click that bell icon for more regular news and updates from our site. So making myself and everything else clear, let's get started. So the story of Sam Fisher has been lingering around since 2013, and he's been in every cameo that we have seen after that. He's been on Rainbow Six Siege, he's been on Far Cry New Dawn, he's been there on Ghost Recon Wildlands, and a weird mobile game that actually nobody cares about. Unfortunately, this seems to be the priority of Sam Fisher nowadays, a former great relegated to brief moments of fan service. Ironically, these homages are inciting misplaced anger more than anything else, and Ubisoft could correct this if it was willing to take risks that go beyond its tried and true staple of the products. Tom Clancy's XDefiant is the latest in line of moves like this, with two characters sporting Sam Fisher's night vision goggles in the key art alone. Moreover, XDefiant looks like a wannabe universe where Tom Clancy had imagined some of the characters in their multiplayer environment, but are borrowing artworks from their previous games, just as we mentioned about Sam Fisher's goggles. It seems like Ubisoft is increasingly wary of committing resources to standalone experiences, one and done efforts that feature a robust solo campaign without entertaining a vast open world, microtransactions, or potential for post launch DLC. Everything needs to have a tail, the potential to maximize profits and become yet another ecosystem in a homogeneous mass of live services. It's a cynical outlook, but an increasingly common one that won't be going away anytime soon. Ubisoft has made it clear that it isn't interested in such things, with the rare exception of smaller indie efforts in the recent years that have also faded into relative obscurity. Knowing this trend, the idea of a traditional Splinter Cell reboot feels very unlikely, and if it does become a reality sometime in the future, expect it to be sufficiently detached from what became before. This realization wouldn't hurt so much if Sam Fisher had remained on the bench ever since his last mainline appearance, which was in Splinter Cell Blacklist, but it's evident that Ubisoft is aware of his popularity and how the character can be utilized in other projects. Perhaps the company is now afraid of committing resources to an entire project, aware that stealth titles never perform if they aren't attached to any established property. But isn't Splinter Cell big enough already? Or perhaps it simply needs to swallow its pride and develop a project that lives within its means, instead of striving to be a monolithic, all encompassing live service designed for decades. Well, it's okay for games to be momentary, to exist as standalone works of art that stand the test of time because they aren't defined by current trends in any manner. As I said previously, Ubisoft isn't into that anymore. Netflix is now working on an animated series with the minds behind John Wick, so Ubisoft is aware of demand for Sam Fisher in his cheeky misadventures with terrorism, but it isn't enough for his own reboot or even a sequel that brings Michael Ironside's iteration of the character out of retirement. Now, we also do know that Ubisoft is beyond franchises like Splinter Cell by starting live services nowadays with Assassin's Creed, shifting into such a formula alongside the likes of Rainbow Six Siege, For Honor, and Hyperscape. So the main reason why Splinter Cell is lacking to come into the forefront is possibly Ubisoft's interest. They are interested in live services, they are interested in games that have got a bigger, vast open world universe, and thinking of a Splinter Cell game with that much content is literally not possible at the present time. Also, we do know the rights issue of Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy died in 2015, so there are some of the titles that were lingering, such as Ghost Recon Breakpoint and Ghost Recon Wildlands, which were fully purchased by Ubisoft. But when it comes to Splinter Cell, there are still rights issues, and Ubisoft is still looking to buy the whole rights to make at least a reboot of the game. But when that will happen, there is no clear idea. And honestly, there are different trust issues. There is trust issues regarding the viability of the single player games that are coming out. Especially Ubisoft wants an atmosphere of microtransactions that are more RPG oriented instead of stealth and direct storyline. The series lies in a weird state of flux, one where it is constantly being referenced and acknowledged without ever becoming a member of Ubisoft's modern repertoire of titles. I am not massively confident whether we will ever see Splinter Cell making a return, but I am hoping for its hollowed out as a live service. I'd rather stay quiet about it because the periphery around all these issues regarding Splinter Cell is more detailed than we actually anticipate. It's like Ubisoft might have a backup plan for Splinter Cell because they definitely had a backup plan for other franchises such as the Prince of Persia. So anticipating Splinter Cell in the future is not wrong, but anticipating it anytime soon is definitely not going to happen from my side. But as I mentioned earlier, it being a Tom Clancy issue, definitely we are going to have a talks in the future, and Ubisoft will be pushing hard for getting the franchise back. So that's it from the video, guys. Do express your views on the comment section about how you feel about Splinter Cell and how you feel about XDefiant. Also, do follow our Discord server for short updates that we won't be coming in our videos. Do follow our Instagram and Twitter handles for more regular news and updates. We'll be seeing you guys in the next one.